Hi, I'm Randall with the Whiskey Shaman podcast, and welcome to the Whiskey Vault. All right, today we are going to get into a bottle that is near and dear to my heart, and that's what this is supposed to be, right? We are going to get into Scotch Malt Whiskey Society's Midwinter Celebration. We're going to get into the little backstory on this here in a second, but this is number 36194. It's a 12-year-old product from Speyside, ex-bourbon hogshead, first fill PX sherry hogshead, 56.6% alcohol. So let's get into it. So if you look at the codes on the SMWS, you'll see that 36 is actually Benrius, which Benrius distillery isn't really a large distillery. I mean, it's a large distillery, but they don't have a bunch of bottles out on the shelf. They're more of a workhorse type distillery. They do a lot of blending and stuff like that. But as you well know, Scotch Malt Whiskey Society is an amazing independent bottler doing awesome things. So this is a single cask. There's 304 bottles. That's all there was. So I was given this bottle by my dear wife. And the funny story is, I don't know if you guys know me at all, and it doesn't matter if you don't. Last year, and we're not going to talk about this forever, so I understand. Last year, I was diagnosed with testicular cancer, had to go through chemo, get removal, all the things. Wow, sad story, right? That's not the story. The story is, while I was in chemo, I had just started. They said you can't drink. Obviously, you don't want to be drinking whiskey. So my wife snuck into my email from Scotch Malt Whiskey Society, found my passcode to get in, and purchased this bottle for me. And she said she knew I couldn't drink it, but she knew I wanted a celebratory whiskey for when I kicked cancer's butt. This was it. So as of February, blah, 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 I was done with treatments, lost all my hair. It was a big deal. So we opened this bottle. I did a live stream. It was fun. But this bottle to me is so special. And it all goes back to set and setting, right? Is Benrius the best distillery ever made? Probably not. Is this bottle the best bottle in the world? Probably not. But what it is set and setting. Okay? To me, this is one of the best whiskeys I've ever had, because it put me in a place where I didn't drink for 12 weeks, 13 weeks, something like that. Didn't drink. And so I had a long dry week, if you want to call it that. I had a long dry week. But what it did is it made me appreciate that whiskey that much more. It was sitting there waiting for me. And it just made it really special. And the fact that my wife was, being a spy or whatever and going behind my back, which, I mean, hey, if you're going to go behind my back to buy me some whiskey, more power to you, right? All right, let's get into it. On the nose, it is so sherry forward. It's so good. And I will tell you, this bottle is almost gone. There is maybe, I didn't even do a 1 ounce pour, and there's maybe an ounce maybe in there. So it has had some headspace on it. So it has changed a little bit, but it's plum, raisin, sultanos. You know what I mean? Like the golden raisins. It's just, then the proof is there, obviously, and then it's malty, it's viscous on the nose even, and it's sticking to the glass pretty good too. My certified Texas whiskey glass, of course. Mm. And on the taste, oh man, it's sweet. It's Christmas cake, not fruit cake, right? That's gross. But like Christmas cake with the spices and nuts and berries, and it has a walnut taste to it. It's very floral and fruity. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. Now, unfortunately, you can't get this bottle anymore. Benrius does do quite a few offerings through SMWS. I'm going to look for another one. If you can find a sherry finished 12-year-old Benrius, please do, and please enjoy it. But there's something about this particular whiskey, and there's something about that particular moment when you are able to drink a whiskey again and you try it, it is otherworldly, spiritual, some would say. So to me, this worth every penny. If I could, I would buy a whole nother bottle. I'd buy a case of them. I would. Can't do it, but I would. I looked into it. So on the long finish, it's more of the it's almost apricot now, dried, of course. It's very viscous. It lingers with you, and this is the first whiskey of the day, so I don't have anything to follow it. But like the barrel has influence, right? There's the vanillas, the caramel, stuff like that, but it's overtaken by the maltiness and by the sherry influence. So good. The proof point, perfect, right? I have added water to this. It does turn the ethanol up a little bit, which I don't like. So I normally drink this as it is, cask strength, the way the Lord intended. So if you would like to find out more about me, you can go to my you can email me whiskeyshamanpodcast@gmail, or go to my any of my social media, or my podcast is linked on Spotify, Apple, all the places. And until next time, I'm really glad you're here.